Alright, hey guys, this is my little week 2 sort of highlights overview video for week 2. Starting here with the A session with the overs and unders. I set up I have some planks lying around and stuff. I set some up in my backyard here, put one on a bin and stuff, which is kind of helpful since I kind of had some trouble finding stuff like railings or fallen trees and stuff like that to go over and under, so this was quite helpful. One of the things I noticed quite quickly doing these was that with the unders, I kind of struggle going low enough, especially on I noticed it on the plank quite often. I clip it with my hips relatively often. I also found out there was a cool little rolling thing I could do over this little platform, so I played around with that a bit. But yeah, keeping my hips low enough is one of the big things I'm kind of trying to work with. I kind of isolated certain movements as well, like certain overs, like tried different variations of ways of putting my legs over, or jumping over, or crawling under backwards, crawling under forwards, sideways, kind of exploring some different variations, and then from there putting it together. There's also a pretty cool little fallen tree around the back of my house, which I'd never really kind of paid much attention to until now. But it makes kind of an interesting object because it's kind of the base is still on the ground, but then the top is kind of elevated, so you kind of get like a triangular kind of area to move under. And of course, since it's at an angle, you can approach the overs at different heights, and it's all at a diagonal, which is kind of interesting. There's also quite a lot of leaves on the floor underneath this log, so it kind of lends itself to trying to roll underneath it. Like I saw Rafe doing it in a few of his videos where he was quickly approaching a log with a gap underneath it, and then he would hit the floor and kind of roll underneath it, which I found quite interesting, so I tried it out a bit. And moving over the log, just using my legs, was also cool. I know we're instructed not to come running at the obstacles too much, but I just couldn't contain myself. That brings us to the B-Day, the soft ground flow. Trying out the sequence we were given. I was trying to generate a little bit of spring getting off the floor, like with the shortening and lengthening one side. I was trying to find the like a good way to get a little bit of like momentum, I guess, out of that motion, which was interesting. A bit later, went into the hard ground flow. I had a bit more restricted space for this than I imagined, so I kind of had to move in like a C shape or in a circle, which added some extra challenge because then I was trying to kind of bounce stuff out, like doing monkey walks on the right and left sides instead of just doing them on one. So then I had to kind of turn around a little bit, like I did just then, and kind of figure stuff out a little bit as I was doing it. But that was okay. That added a little bit of variety to the sequence. So yeah. For the last day, the C day, I decided to cycle to this volcano that has these really cool olive trees that I spotted once in the crater. And they have like really nice branches and stuff, which is something you really kind of don't find that often on this island. So that was cool. I started it off with the hanging from like a horizontal-ish branch or bar that was suggested, and finding like different ways to support yourself. I found that very fun, and I kind of pushed myself to try some of the stuff I saw Rafe doing, especially the stuff like getting the elbows over and getting your armpits kind of close to close to the branch. When I first saw that, I was like, "Ooh, am I gonna be able to do that? Or like, how's that gonna feel?" You know. But turns out it felt a lot more intuitive and yeah, comfortable than I thought originally, which was nice. Also quite enjoyed climbing through the trees and discovering them as I was climbing them, because I would, you look at a tree and you think, oh yeah, that's gonna be good climbing material, but maybe you get into it and then you're like, oh, it's actually not got that many options or something. And then another tree where you don't think there's as much to it. As you're climbing through it, you see more and more possibilities, more and more options, and you kind of see the tree in a completely different way, which was quite eye-opening, really. Also, my forearms were just killing. They were totally killing me. By the end of the session, they were very, very pumped up. So yeah, looking forward to maybe getting a bit more, getting some grip strength gains from this kind of practice. I'm sure that that'll come. Yeah, also using toe hooks, heel hooks, stuff like that came very naturally to me in the trees. Never really came very naturally to me when I'm doing rock climbing or something like that. It's quite different. Anyway, yeah, the same day there was also the jumping session, where I was trying to refine the jumps a bit, trying to link all the different types of jumps together. Also noticed I struggle most with the taking off on both legs and landing on both legs. I guess it's a movement I haven't done all that much, and I'm lacking some coordination in there. Because yeah, it just doesn't feel very, very springy. It feels kind of heavy. Yeah. Yeah, nevertheless, tried it out. Try to link it together with some single leg jumps and stuff like that. Here I got into a bit of a kind of a hopscotch game with myself, just hopping around. It was kind of fun. Felt a bit, yeah, definitely brought me back to my childhood a little bit. That feeling of just hopping around. Okay, guys, yeah, that kind of brings me to the end of this week's video. Yeah, really looking forward to interacting with you guys some more for next week's stuff, and seeing what you guys are up to and all that. So yeah, really stoked. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. Till next week, guys.